My name is Marco Hanna from PhoneDog.com, and this is the Weekly Bone. We kick off with the Motorola X reviewed by our own Aaron Baker. The new Motorola X has a 4.7-inch display. It's a 720p display. It also has a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core processor, not a quad-core processor, built on Motorola's brand new X8 architecture flagship CPU design. It also has 2 gigabytes of RAM and a 10 megapixel shooter on the back side of the device. If you're thinking to yourself, it sounds like a mid-range device, you are absolutely correct. The phone does not sound too powerful, doesn't sound too great compared to things like the HTC One for 1080p display and a quad-core processor and things like the Samsung Galaxy S4. Where the Motorola X kind of shines is basically the ergonomics and the usability of the Motorola X. Ergonomically, it looks like the Magic Mouse from Apple's mouse line. It's very curved, it's very sleek, it looks very great. And also the Motorola Signs acts like an index finger holder, so you can hold it very nicely and stabilize it on your hand if you're doing one-hand operation. Motorola's X8 architecture is a very powerful architecture. It does very good things. It's not so powerful, but it keeps a very good and steady level of performance, which means throughout the menus, throughout all the applications, you can see a very simple and very usable type of power, and you can use it all the time instead of a very high swing and low swing in terms of performance. It's a very good architecture. For $199 on a 2-year contract, it might be a little too pricey to compete with the HTC One and the Samsung Galaxy S4 because they do offer more power and more features than the Motorola X. But if you want a device that just works and it looks great and you can sort of design it if you're an AT&T customer, then the Motorola X is definitely a very good option. New rumors and leaks covered by our own Alex Wagner have placed Apple on making the iPhone 5S a little bit more blingy. I know, it sounds weird, but let's get into it. Rumors have said Apple is working to make a gold-colored iPhone 5S for this September launch. You might be saying to yourself, I really don't want a gold-colored iPhone. Welcome to my boat as well. I do not want a gold-colored iPhone. So if Apple is making this gold-colored iPhone, it will be gold on basically anything but either aluminum or metal. So basically the stainless bands around the iPhone, the back plate, and I'm not sure what color the front panel will be, but I hope it's not gold, but it will look kind of weird if it have a white or black on gold because it doesn't really match. So probably a black face and a gold back if they do make this iPhone 5S blingy edition. Recent leaks of the HTC Zara has placed some specs to the device that has been rumored for quite some time. It's supposed to be a mix of the HTC Desire line and the HTC One line into sort of one little mid-range flagship device to sell for a very reasonable price. It's supposed to have a 4.5-inch display. It's going to be a QHD display, not an HD display at all. It's going to be either LCD or AMOLED. My bet is on AMOLED. It's also going to have a 1.2 gigahertz dual-core processor and 1 gigabyte of RAM. In terms of software, we can expect to see Android 4.3 and not 4.2 on this device, and the next version and iteration of HTC Sense in the HTC Sense 5.5, which will be rolled out for all the other devices as well. Well, that's all the time I have for this week's episode of The Weekly Bone. You can follow me on Twitter at PhoneDog_Marco. Make sure to keep it locked here at PhoneDog.com and YouTube.com/PhoneDog, and I'll see you guys in the next video.